Hey guys, Recruiter Preston here, and I was actually just talking to somebody last week and this whole conversation came up about this question. I was asked if I thought if recruiting was hard or easy, and I thought, you know what, that could actually be a great idea for a video. So here we are. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Preston, also known as Recruiter Preston. Been in recruiting for almost about a decade, built multiple seven figures on my own desk, now scaling my agency, and we are a trusted growth partner to some of the most well-known companies, brands out there in the entire country. And so if you're looking for your next job, needing help with hiring, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you out, but let's get started. So when it comes to the question, is recruiting easy or hard? I think the answer is yes and no. It's easy because it's easy for people to kind of get into. There's a very low bar. You don't need to go to a graduate school to get fancy degrees, nor do you have to learn really deep kind of technical topics or subject matters to really get into or excel in recruiting, especially in your first couple days. Most agencies or a lot of companies hire entry-level talent, people with no experience, or people with maybe 1 or 2 years of experience, and it's really on the job where you learn most of your stuff and to excel. With that said, while it's easy to get into, while it's easy to start, it's very difficult, like with a lot of jobs out there, to do very well or to master. If you've been watching for a long time, recruiting essentially is a sales job. So if you have any sales experience, you'd know exactly what I'll be talking about in this video. Or if you don't have any sales, you have minimal sales experience, then perhaps this video could be very, very helpful. The reason why it could be difficult are a lot of reasons, but maybe the 3 main ones come to mind. So number one, you'll have to be accustomed to unpredictable results all the time, right? So let's say that you found a candidate. Let's say you found one candidate, you talk to them, you think they're great, you sent them in, you're like, great, my client's gonna love them, they're gonna crush the interviews, I'm gonna get an offer, placement done. Rarely does recruiting happen like that. The candidate could not be interested. The candidate could start interviewing and maybe pull out. The candidate could start ghosting. The company could hire someone else. The company could ghost. The candidate could accept the offer and then still continue interviewing to other roles. And then multiply that 2, 3, 4, 5 other processes at the same time. And it's not just, dealing with one strand of unpredictability, it's a lot at the same time with really no idea how the next couple of days of this week's gonna pan out to your best of your abilities. So number one is really just that nature of working and being able to work in chaos, not clear directions, clear guidelines, or clear goals or clear outcomes. You could put in your all, you can do your best, you can find the best people, but that doesn't mean it's going to result in a successful placement or you getting paid. Not to mention getting paid, you can also have a successful placement and the company might not even pay you. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong, and it does go wrong or sideways all the time. If you are someone that would just literally go crazy, develop severe anxiety or stress because of you don't know and you can't control what's about to happen, this or even a lot of sales roles might not be a good fit for you. Of course, there are nuances with even getting a different type of recruiting job, whether it's RPO or internal recruitment, but on the whole, broad strokes, whatever recruitment job you're in, you're working with human beings, and a lot of times things don't happen the way that you want to. Human beings make irrational, rash decisions, illogical decisions all the time. And you just have to be okay with that. You just have to be okay taking the punches and pick yourself up and keep moving forward, really develop that strong mindset. If you think you're like, wow, I'm actually someone that excels. And as long as I know that if I put in that work, if I do the reps, that results will happen eventually. And no matter what happens, the world goes upside down, I can still push through. Then I think that is a fantastic foundation psychologically to set yourself up for success. Did you just start your own recruitment agency and are struggling getting your own clients? Are you thinking about starting your own agency but afraid to make the jump? Do you have your own clients but you're struggling to find the perfect candidates fast? Do you have a full-time job and wanted to do recruitment part-time to make more money on the side and have no idea how to? If you answered yes to any of these questions, please consider joining our private community. It is a trust-based community where recruiters around the world can support, collaborate, and work together on placements all around the year consistently. In this community, you will directly have access to the real open jobs of my team and of our members, and you will also have the chance to access trainings, events, giveaways, and much, much more. If you are part of this community, I communicate and work with you as if you were on my own team, and I'll do whatever I can to do a placement together with your client or candidate. So if you're struggling to get your own clients or candidates and you want a way you can make sure you can be busy all year round by having access to many more open roles, then this is something you need to look into. This is open to people around the world and is open for recruiters in every industry and experience levels, as we will always have a good number of variety of open jobs across sectors, markets, and industries. I'm really happy to say that within the first 30 days, we have already have a new member with minimal recruiting experience do his first placement that had a total fee of almost $30,000 US, and we are working working hard to do many, many more this year. If you are interested and excited, there are only a limited number of spots open, so make sure you sign up quick at patreon.com/recruiterpreston. If you have any questions, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Discord. We can set up a time to chat. See you on the other side. The second thing that kind of makes recruitment difficult for a lot of people is that, as I mentioned before, it's very, very sales oriented. If you've never worked in sales, you've never done, business development, you've never done cold calling, you've never even started your own side hustle or your own company or business, this is a whole new world. You're gonna have to learn very, very quickly. This is very much amplified if you're working for yourself or you work on the agency side where you do a lot more cold emailing, cold outreach, utilizing a lot of different methods. But on the whole, when it comes to just recruitment, you will be doing a lot of cold outreach to clients and maybe just to candidates if you're on the internal corporate side. A lot of it's cold emailing, cold messaging, cold calling, all of the above, and you have to be okay with that. With sales, it's one of those things where even though it's predictable, you're like, hey, if I put in the reps, if I do the numbers, if I do X, Y, and Z, I can get results X, Y, and Z. It's a lot easier said than done, right? You're gonna have to be okay to working in ambiguity. You have to be okay starting each week and each month with 0. You have to be okay giving 200% of your effort every single day with no guaranteed results. In addition to that, what comes with sales roles is you're just gonna have to learn to deal with a lot of rejection and a lot of failure very, very quickly. People are gonna say no. People are gonna say mean things to you. You're gonna get a lot of hangups, ghosting, rejections. You're gonna have things that break every single day. You're gonna have people that ignore you, makes you wanna pull your hair. You're gonna have situations where you think it's gonna go well and next thing you know, you lost it, right? The amount of rejections and failure that you experience at scale at a sales role is nothing you've ever experienced before to a regular office or normal job. You're gonna get rejections and failures constantly. On the flip side, if you know what to expect, right? Or you have experience with sales or business development, working for yourself, and you know that this is a wave of tsunami, rejections and failures, and just unpredictable chaos that's about to hit you, and you know what to expect, you can really anchor yourself in and push through with consistent work effort and work ethic, you're gonna be miles and miles ahead of many people who are coming into any sales role, let alone a recruiting role on day one, with just the idea that recruitment's easy, you can make a lot of money, you can make a lot of placements, you're off to the sunsets. So while it's sales, it's fantastic, it can be rewarding and fulfilling, but on the flip side, you have to put in a lot of work. A lot of the work is gonna feel mundane, whether it's doing the outreach, whether it's sourcing, whether it's talking to candidates, whether it's doing process calls, negotiations, the same thing over and over and over again for you to be able to get that next placement and that next deal. At the same time, hopefully developing really strong, tough skin so that you can be able to push through all the rejections and failures. But again, if you are that person where you will develop significant anxiety, analysis paralysis, and it just really affects you emotionally, it's gonna be a tough pill to swallow and it could be a much harder job than you actually think. The third variable that makes recruitment challenging is that you're juggling so many different responsibilities at the same time, even at a job, but more importantly, if you're working for yourself, for instance, right, at a full desk. Not only are you doing the candidate side, you're doing the client side, you're managing negotiations, managing interview processes. Oh yeah, not to mention everything else that comes with self-employment if you're freelancing, whether it's admin, taxes, chasing invoices, all of that, management and leadership. There's just so many things happening on a recruitment desk, but let's just say you're not working for yourself, you have a freelance job or at a corporate RPO or maybe agency. There's so many things that you have to keep track with and just learn and improve yourself on a lot of different facets constantly. And so whether it's a 360 where you're gonna have to be responsible to both clients and candidates, or you're focused on just 180, so let's say your job is only on outreach, learning how to be able to find the right tools, the plugins, research, outreach, personalization, and even doing the same thing on the candidate side and being able to perfect that, learn it, improve, iterate at the same time while managing clients or managing candidates, listening to your boss and hoping to be a good team member. There's just a lot happening at the same time. So you really have to be organized. To make that worse, recruiting is also extremely fast-paced. So as you know, when companies are interviewing and when they're hiring, they want to hire someone sooner than later. So they're building that pipeline. So there's a huge sense of urgency to build that pipeline, to get interviews through, to get feedback, to schedule more interviews, to get more feedback, final round, offer, negotiations, talking to your candidates at early mornings, evenings, while on the same time juggling candidate stuff, client stuff. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. If you're someone that's just not organized or you don't do things systematically, you can get overwhelmed very, very, very quickly. With all this said though, recruiting can be extremely fulfilling, not just on the monetary financial route, but also it's a business where we are working with human beings. We get paid when you positively impact other people, whether it's the founder and his team and they hired a rock star through you, or whether you talk to an amazing candidate and they got an amazing job through you. You made that happen. It's a people's business, but it's also a business where we literally create something out of nothing, especially in the agency world. You have to find a company, you have to find a candidate, you put it together, it feels incredible. Money aside, it feels absolutely incredible to feel like you impacted someone's career on a small scale. It feels absolutely rewarding and exhilarating when you get that text message or phone call or email from the stakeholders that you impacted saying, Preston, you were awesome, or I couldn't have done this without you, or thank you for, introducing me to this company I never thought existed, and now I'm gonna be here for 10 years and crush it. And the coolest thing is, years go on, you look back, you see your candidate doing just that, they become a leader, a manager, maybe perhaps they reach out back to you because they're hiring for their team. It becomes a full circle, and it's the greatest feeling ever. The business where we are getting paid to make relationships, and these relationships can become friendships, they can be business partners, they can create new opportunities. I think it's just so cool that we're working with human beings on the candidate side, human beings on the client side. If you operate with a long-term horizon, with the goal that you really want to create genuine relationships, a lot of these initial phone conversations or Zoom conversations can turn to something just amazing and powerful for your relationships, friendships, and your career down the line. So is recruiting hard? Is it easy? It is whatever you make it to be. If you have previous relevant experience, that can certainly help fast track you. If you don't, you have to know what you're about to experience, the wave of psychological emotions you're about to feel. And the most important thing, whatever case you are, to keep your head down, be consistent, put in that work, and understand that if you do your best, legitimately, consistently, results will happen. And in recruiting, like in sales, when it rains, it pours. You can go through a couple days, you can go through a couple weeks of nothing, but then you have deals after deals after deals after deals after deals. And that's how I've done some of my biggest months, my biggest weeks, my biggest days of placements. And so if I can do it, you can do it too. Hope this video helps. If you think there's anything else I left out, please let me know. Really appreciate it, and see you on the next one.